All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Makakwarash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, and if you walk out, who may be listening. Salaki, this is your brother Batak from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. All right, the title of this lesson is Defiled Bread. All right, and, as of late, through the spirit, really, for a while now, because the Apostle Gabar had and Apostle Tahar and the other apostles have been going in on the health and eating properly, adjusting the diet, etc. for a long time now, and as of late, a lot of the wickedness that this devil has been doing with the food has been coming out. All right, recently. One of the brothers sent me a elder brother sent me a Salakia. Recently, one of the elder brothers sent me a video talking about Kellogg's cereal and the founder of Kellogg's cereal. And, basically it was saying that the dude that came up with the recipe for the cornflakes was obviously was an Edomite, but this dude used to mutilate children, especially in particular, in their private parts, and all type of other stuff. I mean, you can look into it. I'm not going to get into the gory details of what this guy was doing, but torturing children, mutilating them in their private areas. And, when he would take them to these, and he was doing all this legally, by the way, because he so-called owned a mental facility. And that's where he was doing all this stuff at. But they was talking about how he used to feed the kids the cornflakes at the mental facility. Excuse me. This was before they mass produced them and all that. But, it's the same recipe. And he was feeding them this at the mental facility. And it did something to their libido, I guess you could say. It messed with their private it messed with the chemical nature of their private parts as far as like getting aroused and all that stuff, and you look at the foods that this devil gives you, and it does all of it does that. It's all detrimental to your rod, no homo. All right, and it makes all these women have testosterone boosted and all this shit. This is what this devil is putting in all the food, okay? And excuse me. They take these recipes and they put them in the cereal. They put cartoons and colorful shit on the boxes of cereal to make little kids want it. They raise you your whole life thinking that this is a balanced breakfast. This is what you're supposed to start your day off with. All right, you send your kids to school, they feeding them the same shit. All right. And this is why most of these Americans are fucking unhealthy and are dying, okay? And particularly it's to target Jake, because like I said, this all attacks your sexual reproductive organs in the hopes of stifling your ability to reproduce. All right, so that's why we got to be on point with our diets. That's why the Spirit had the apostles, stressing how important that is, and they've been doing that for a while now. All right, but we're going to get these precepts, and Lord willing, to be edifying. Salakia for the ramble. This is Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, and that wicked is Esau Edom. As the scriptures say, Esau Edom is the border of wickedness. All right, and these devils are the ones that are in charge of this earth. All right, as it says, Jacob is the, Salakia, Esau is the end. Salakia. But as the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And as we know, we are in the end of days, the last days. We're in the last cycle of this current eon that we're living in before Yahweh Shai comes back and reestablishes order in the earth, okay? Which would be the kingdom of heaven here on earth, all right? But these devils are the ones that are in charge until then. And The only thing you can expect from them is wickedness. All right, all these Jakes, they want to try to make excuses for these Edomites. Excuse me. They want to make excuses for these Edomites. They want to try to say that you're wrong if you say that they're the devil. All right, and it's not about a color thing, because there's Israelites that are so-called white looking, or that have pale flesh, and there's Edomites that got dark skin, man, because it's about a lineage. It's about who you descend from. It has nothing to do with your physical appearance, okay? But see, these people, they'll get mad when you say that these devils are the devil, and yeah, Jake likes to point at the transatlantic slave trade, which was an atrocity, and these devils are going to pay for that too, and it was wicked as well. All right, but what I like to say is that you don't really get to process and understand the level of wickedness that this devil is on until you look at things, the daily things that they do to you, not just the transatlantic slave trade, which, like I said, was horrendous, and they're going to pay for that. All right, but these devils are poison in the water. This is water that they and their own people got to drink too. This is not just water in Jake neighborhoods. This is everywhere, because they don't know who's who, so they're going after everybody. All right, the water's poison. They flying in the sky, chemtrails, poison in the sky. The food is poison. All right. Somebody sat down and researched on how to do all this shit and then started doing it to people. This is why they the devil. Okay? And you don't understand the true wickedness of these people until you really understand that everything in this society is structured, number one, first and foremost, to destroy you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you speckled birds that are scattered abroad among the other nations. Whose lineage on your father's side goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who the real target is. But these devils, they don't care. They'll take everybody down to get you, man. And that's what they're doing. They're destroying their own. They're destroying all these other heathens to try to get us. And it's on every level. It's nothing that this devil is offering you that is to your benefit, all right? This is Deuteronomy 28:48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right? So we have to go to this devil for everything. Food, your water, all right? Where you live at. Yeah, certain Jakes might be landlords. Certain Jakes might own. You might be renting your apartment from a Jake. But guess what? Esau owns all this shit. And if they show up and say, we want to claim eminent domain, they're going to put y'all ass out because all this shit belong to them. All right? The money got they face on it. Everything here, if you follow the string, at the end of every string is an Edomite, man. And that's who you got to go to. All right? Because guess what? Once again, even if you rent your apartment from a Jake, the bank owns that house. Unless they paid it off. And if they paid it off, the government owns that house. Because you don't own nothing here. All right? So you're going to this devil for everything. It's already been established that this dude is the devil. It's already been established that they are trying to take us out. You think that going to this devil for the things that you need is gonna result in a benefit to you when he is against you? He's your enemy. All right? Like I said, serve thine enemies. These people are our enemies. Nothing that they do is to help us, man. Nothing. It don't matter how good it look up front. Nothing they do is to help us. And that's what you Jakes need to understand. And, like I said, Jake is easy. It's easy for Jake to say that this person is the devil if it's a police officer shooting a Jake in the street, or if you talk about the slave days and shit like that. But what you don't understand is that all a nigga that looked like Bill Gates, that looked like he wouldn't hurt a fly, is somebody that's poisoning your food, man. Poisoning your water. Every day. This is Ezekiel 4:13. It says, and Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread defiled among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All right, so everything we get from this devil is defiled, man. Even the shit that's so-called on the higher end and healthy. All right. That's why these bodies are so weak compared to how compared to how mighty the men were back in the ancient days, and even the yield of the earth, the crops that they grow here. All right, back in the ancient days, it took two mighty men to carry grapes, man, to carry a bushel of grapes, roughly paraphrasing. All right, you can carry that in your hand, one hand right now. This is what we talking about. Because this devil has destroyed everything and is poisoning everything. All right. And on top of that, once again, this dude is the devil. Who knows it? Do you really believe that the shit he say is organic really is? Or is it just something that he put on the tag to sell it to you for more money and make you think you're doing something? This devil ain't here to help us, man. And really, these devils ain't even here to help theyself. They're against their own people, too. These elites are extremely wicked. And every Edomite is wicked on down the line. All right? But these elites, they cutting all of these other Edomites out. They don't give a fuck. All right? So that's why you got to get your shit tight. Now, once again, all this shit is defiled. You got to just focus on getting the best of the worst and praying over that, praying that the Lord continues to protect you and going from there, man. You know, eating whole foods, fruits, vegetables. All right, not eating processed foods no more. Chilling out on the cheese. You know, yeah, you ain't got to cut it out 100%, but it's a lot of folly in all of this cheese here too, and you can look into that. And that's something that Jake like. I used to eat a lot of cheese. I done cut it back substantially now. All right, but that got bullshit in it that fuck with your libido. All these sweet treats and all that, anything that come in a wrapper. All right, it's all got bullshit in it, man. And it's all to destroy you and to make you impotent. All right, because they don't want Jake reproducing. And they don't want Jake to even if reproducing isn't a thing. They got penis envy. They don't even want you to be able to use your shit, man. No homo. Seriously. So you need to have your diet in check. You need to be exercising and doing all of that, man. And you need to be praying to the Lord first and foremost that he gets you through all this shit, because this shit, we got all the cards stacked against us, and the only thing that's going to get us through it is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's a miracle that we even at this point now, you know, and me and the elder brother was talking about it when he sent me the thing about the cereal. And I said, man, it's amazing that we even are alive and doing all right today with all this shit that we've been eating, man. But it's all Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why you got to stay prayed up. And now that you have better knowledge and understanding, you need to be making the adjustment and putting shit away that you don't need to be fucking with. This is Sirach 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. All right, so we're done trusting this devil, man. We don't trust nothing that he does. All right. All we're trying to do is navigate through this minefield and get out of here and endure to the end so we can get a ride on these chariots and be counted worthy for salvation, man. We're not here buying into nothing this devil talks about. We don't believe nothing he's saying. We know everything he does is to our detriment, and we're keeping that in the forefront of our mind as we move throughout this wicked place, man. You know? And like I said, staying prayed up, studying, reading, making sure that you staying in the spirit, because that's the only way you're going to be able to navigate this shit, man. All right. With that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, and if you walk with who may be listening. And Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Until next